All right, so now we're going to get into another solo content gameplay. Normal Damien, this time on a Wind Archer. You can see right here the cap. I'm going to show you guys my gear at the end because I think it's very important. You know, people ask to see what kind of gear I have on these accounts, and let's see right here. It's going to show it. Like, this is the gear I'm using. This is bare bones. Like, the emblems are level 1. The 3 mythics. The stats are pretty good because I'm higher level, and so I have a little bit more symbols. Necro weapon, but the cap is 18.4 mil. I just rolled Magnus, Mag Soul, so that boosted mine up a lot. I don't even have maxed hyperstat skills for the max damage cap maxed. I don't have any cap or boost from guild skills or anything like that. Bare bones, right? This is stats right here with full buffs. This is not clean stats. This is full buff stats. So it's nothing special at all, right? It's probably around 300% crit damage, 100% boss attack, and even less crit rate. But since I use fair trade, right, that's a factor. But the gear is not great. Nothing, nothing amazing. So that's why I love solo content. I love doing this type of gameplay because it kind of brings me back. I've talked about it before. My hard Magnus days was the best time for me because it really forced me to lock in and it kind of be all about me. Be all about me and my gameplay and finding little strategies to improve, right? So straight off the bat, get that burst in the corner, stun on the corner, get my burst out. And it's funny how even a class like a Wind Archer, so I don't take Blink here because I didn't have enough slots, but it's even funny how a class like a Wind Archer, who is not really known as a burst class, right? So the majority of my damage is through my V skills. This Howling Gale skill right here ended up being a huge chunk of my damage. And this is not a 2-minute cooldown. This is a 30-second cooldown skill that does majority of my damage. So when looking back at the battle analysis, like look at these lines. I'm hitting 5 to 6 mil cap lines. There's so much room to grow DPS and gear wise. My gear was not even anything special at all, right? But you can see right here, I'm making sure that my Howling Gale, I'm trying to use as much as possible. This is a grind. But I just love it so much. It's so much fun. This is a sweaty run. Like you can see getting through phase 1, close to 2 minutes left is cutting it close as it is. For anyone that has done Damien before, they know that there's, like if I'm getting through phase 1, it's taking me this long, you know it's going to come down to the wire for sure. So you can see here, the most important thing for me is I can tank those dashes. Huge. But I got through it. Right, and you can see the CP is 34 mil. 34 mil cap. I should not be able to do this type of content, but test the limits. And so the reason why I love doing this and maybe a little bit too much, investing a little bit too much in the alts, is because it keeps me fresh. It keeps me engaged, keeps me learning all these new classes. Broncos lose us. All these new classes, and this, like on my bishop compared to my paladin, compared to any class that I played, Wind Archer is pretty different, right? Hold down skills, like insane mobility with wind walk, short 30-second iframe here, attacking from range like this, being able to move in position and still do damage is something that is like, it's a lot of fun. I just remember why I love Wind Archer so much. It was one of my favorite classes here, and it just made Damien so much easier to reposition and do all these things. Like right here, you can see I'm going to outrange this dash right here and throw down my Howling Gale. And those lines are not hitting hard. Not at all. So I was able to use it there. Here comes dive. And the nice thing is it's going to dive right because it's facing right. Maybe I should have taken the altar there, but a little bit too late. So I'm going to have to try to reposition. I think I should slash it right here. Yeah, there you go. slash it right here, and then give myself all this room to cleanse this next altar. Huge, right there. I need to cleanse that. And in normal mode, that cleanses a lot faster than it did in the hard solo mode on my bishop. So that was nice, but man, is Windwalk so fun. Windwalk is so cool. Stunned right here. I didn't want to get dashed on there, so I just stunned it, get my burst out, Howling Gale, everything. And I think I do have to run a little bit for this next tornado. So you're seeing me to teleport, tornado, outrange it. Looks like I can still, yeah. So now I'm trying to get outrange this dash. Look at this perfect positioning. Boop. No damage. Get lucky sometimes. Or that skill. And then rinse and repeat, right? Windwalk with Dumpling and Fever buff is nice. You're going to use my iframe here to immune that dash, get Howling Gale out, get my burst out. Unfortunately, a lot of this didn't, oh there, it paired with DS4 right there. I was mainly trying to use Howling Gale off a cooldown versus wait to pair with DS4. I have to run here for dash, because dash increases my stacks as well. So I tried to, minimize that as well. Minimize taking dash damage. And here, luckily survived that. I have to iframe here. Oh, stun. Yeah, I died. Yeah, so in solo content, that's an automatic stun there. It's not like a hit and then the glob comes out. So that's something I misplayed there. Died. I should have just used my iframe there right away. Slashed it to the corner. But look at Wind Archer's Howling Gale. Like it's such a unique class because majority of the damage comes from that one skill, and if it's placed in the wrong spot or the boss moves, so much damage is lost. And even though it is only like a 30-second cooldown, it adds up for sure. So yeah, avoided that dash right there. Cleanse this altar. Dang, well played right there on the tornado. V4 out. There you go. Maximize it right there while tornado's up. So playing this really well right here. I think, yeah. So just to be safe, I wanted to outrange it. That V4 flying to the right side. Love that. So Wind Archer is actually one of the better, most underrated solo content classes because of their short 30-second iframe and their mobility. Like I talked about it in the pod with Sephi in episode 84, but mobility and survivability is just it's just so valuable and important just for doing DPS. Uptime, staying alive. It's just, have to avoid the dash right there. Like it just makes everyone so much smoother and it just makes more fluid. And man, does that, like when I can kind of rotate it and position it and throw in stuns here every now and then. Looks like I'm gonna Howling Gale this. Yeah, I have to take this altar here. Am I gonna stun it here? Yep, stunned it. Wow, on point. Yeah, well played by me. Tried to stun it there just so I could get max value out of my burst there. I think Popcorn's gonna come next. So I mean, you can see this is a sweaty run, and it was kind of good that I stunned there because it allowed me to have a stun at the end of the fight. A 3-minute cooldown for that stun, kind of getting max value out of it is ended up being very important for me to clear. And so I just outranged that dash right there. Stay on top of the boss so he teleports right on me, and then get out of there for tornado. So like I mentioned in the bishop point of view, and any type of solo content, right? If you don't know what's coming, if you don't know the rotation, you're dead. You're dead on the rights, right? Because there's no one else there to save you. There's no reses, there's no support, anything like that. It's just you and the boss. So if you're out here kind of guessing and not knowing what's going on or what's coming next, it just becomes so much more challenging. But when you do, man, does it feel good. Man, does it feel good. We can outrange things like that right there. You can pop your burst. You can cleanse the altars. Did I get this? Yeah. So I got that just in time. Love to see it. Dash, survived there. So I was a little bit late on that Howling that monsoon. And there, World Tree way faster in normal mode as well. And the funny thing about normal mode is that it's not very lucrative. It's not like it's 20 coins. So 5 coins. So you need about 20 weeks to get one armor temp. That's pretty rough. Pretty rough. And I wish that it was more, but I get it. Right? I get it. Like, so this game is not for solo content players, unfortunately. Like, and if you could just reward people for just like team content is just harder, in my opinion. Right? Like, I don't want to do normal Damien. I don't want to do hard Damien because grinding it out with a new team, schedules and things like that is just like it's harder than the actual boss. So it makes sense that like team content is more rewarded, but it still sucks that like there's not much reward. Like if you're a solo player and you don't have like guildies to rely on, or like it's for your main and you can't, like, it's tough. It's tough for sure. Even for Lotus, even for Damien. So I'm grateful that they have solo content, this option in general, but it's definitely not like ideal, right? Even doing normal Damien team mode is way more valuable. And I think this gear wise could survive plenty. This could hold its own plenty. And with more rebalances and more things to come, it's going to be even easier. So you can see how sweaty that was right there. What was the time on that? There was a chance at a primal, but I bet it's pretty low. 957. Yikes. Yeah, that was my first attempt ever. So I didn't even know if I had the DPS or possible. A good thing I did Magnus. And I got lucky there because I needed every single bit of cap there for sure. But pretty consistent. Right, and it's just going to get better and better. My goal is to do hard mode because I think my bishop at 22 mil cap isn't much stronger than like an 18, 19 mil cap Wind Archer. But I definitely need more stats because I'm not capping. I'll show you the battle analysis in a little bit. There's the gear like I showed before. And so here it is, the battle analysis. I think I missed some stuff in between. Yeah, definitely missed some stuff. But like I mentioned before, 100 bill, a third of the damage from Howling Gale. Pretty insane. Pretty insane. 60 in uses. So just like, this is just like, Paladin. This is even more absurd actually, because even Paladin has a pretty good breakdown between like only 3 skills that do like 25% of the damage. But this is like 30% and then 10, 10, 10, 10. Pretty crazy. So like Howling Gale is obviously their V skill. Merciless Winds is their V skill. It's like a passive. Stormwind is their burst, Song of Heaven. And then I'm missing kind of the V4, the Vortex that I use, and some skills in between. Obviously the math doesn't add up here, but for the most part, what I learned is the damage looks consistent, right? The damage charts, like in battle analysis, you can just say like it's a sustaining class that doesn't have high peaks, that doesn't have low lows, but like look at this. This is spot on the last 2 minutes, kind of just like even keeled on average. But when you look at the charts, the actual breakdown, one skill. You mess up that one skill, you misplace that one skill, you're going to lose a ton of damage. So there's some skill cap to it for sure, especially with bosses that move like this in Damien. You can't just throw it out there. You got to know when to use it. After dashes, after dives, when he's teleporting, things like that. When tornado's coming, don't use it when popcorn or dive, and things like, don't use it when the boss is immune. So there is some skill to it. Like I said, you have to know when the boss mechanics to maximize the solo content stuff, or you're just going to lose out on a lot of DPS. So I definitely think I can play better, but I played pretty good, and it was sweaty. Very, very sweaty, but I'm excited to kind of progress on this and see how far I can take it as I get my hyper stats added up, get to like a few more cap. I didn't even realize that Mythic had no cap, Mythic armors had no cap to it, so I might have to upgrade those to Ancients. I don't know, but the goal is hard Damien soon for double those coins. Even 10, like a 40 coins per clear is still better than nothing. And if you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe and join the Discord community. The Echo Clan community is growing, the best community in the game right now. And if you want to take your gameplay to the next level, improve your gameplay, do more damage, do more DPS, you definitely want to subscribe. The first 7 days are free and you're going to get full access to everything in the channel. So you definitely want to check that out. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next time.